You have to look what is a creative response. So the wakefulness is not a passive, resignated carelessness. It is a wakeful presence where you are ready to respond and act with all your intelligence, with all your creativity, with all your sensibility of the heart, allowing the humanity. If anyone has sincere interest, anyone really want to do something, what they need to take care. The first thing is to recognize that we are living on the basis of our conditionings. That means everybody has different kind of background, different kind of impressions, standards, values acquired from their background, from the family, from the religion, from the social conditioning, and also the cultural processes. So this plus the positive and negative experiences which everybody has made is creating a so-called basis for the way we perceive the world. That means we are projecting through this. And when we say this is good or this is bad, this is our projection. This is based on our conditioning. And we all need it at certain stage of our development. So it is not right or wrong. It is in the case of everybody different. But that is what we need to be aware of first, because everybody has their own unique, different backgrounds. And in order to really understand each other, we need to see this first, gain some distance to this conditioning, and on this basis of gaining the distance, look and see what is reality. Because that is the very fundament which gives us the possibility to understand each other. And then one can see that I cannot hold to my values and judgments as absolute, because it is relative. And for a healthy way of going into living together peacefully and joyously on this planet, we need to realize we cannot go with hate. We cannot go with violence. We cannot go with revenge. And we cannot go also with blind punishment. You have to understand what is the sense behind it. The hate is coming on the basis of our idea of who we are and what we are, based on our conditioning. There is an automatic, unconscious reaction. When we react on the basis of any of the negative feelings, we are touching the periphery of each other. We are reacting on the ego level. We are not seeing and looking more deeply. We are not trying to understand each other. We are putting each other in boxes. So, when you want to understand anybody, when you want to have a connection which is based on reality, then we have to see that just like we need to accept and respect ourselves, we also need to accept and respect the other as a unique manifestation of life. Now it gets a little deeper. When we look, you can see clearly that life has manifested through each of us in unique way. There is nobody like you or me. Everybody is unique. The more you consider it, the more you stay with it, the more it will become transparent to you. This is an immense wonder. This is the manifestation of an ungraspable intelligence. And there is so much background created so that we can be on this planet. We can be in this life process. So as we deepen our perception, it will become more and more transparent to us. There is something very deep, something very delicate, which we should not take for granted. Because if we look courageously, we will also see that we are taking everything for granted. Unless we are taking time to gain the distance to ourselves and gain the distance to look beyond our conditioning, we are not seeing anything else. Our day-to-day life process overtakes our life energy, and we are going, in a way, engaged most of the time with the conditioned idea of ourselves and the challenges and problems and desires and dreams which we have. So we don't see more. We are taking so much for granted. When you gain a distance to yourself, then you start recognizing that everything what is there is not accidental. The sun shining, the flowers flowering, the birds singing, and all that what is making it so beautiful and so valuable for our living. You see that it is all manifesting on the basis of an ungraspable intelligence which has made it possible. We need only to look at our body, each organ, our eyes, our hands, our heart, our feelings, our emotions, our capacities, our talents. The more you look, the more you consider, the more it becomes an amazement. The more it becomes a sense of wonder. And this is very, very important, that through your own inquiry, you come to it. That's why I don't want anybody to just believe and agree with me blindly, nor also disbelieve and disagree with me blindly. My recommendation and request is consider. Consider this very carefully. Consider this very wakefully. Because considering means you are bringing your own wakefulness, your own energetic participation into this area, and you are going beyond the words. You are not just settling with words and concepts. You are recognizing that there is something. Only attempts to create bridges. The words are not the truth. But behind the words, what is indicated? And that is what is very significant, when everybody, through their own considerations, come to understand and recognize. Then it is your understanding. It is not agreeing with somebody or disagreeing with somebody. And this is very, very important. Because then, when you are pressed, when you are in the moments of challenge, when you are under pressure in different ways, your automatic reaction without these considerations will be coming from your conditioned mind, from your past, from your whole unconscious process. But when you have started considering, when you are going deeper, then you are bringing in new quality of sensibility there. Then your intelligence, in a deeper sense, can participate in your perception. So this is very, very important, that through your conscious consideration, you come to recognize the nature of our reality. And then you can see also that punishment should not be in a revengeful way. Punishment should not be to hurt and create pain to the other for the sake of feeling that the other has deserved it. People who are going wrong and doing things which are unsensible, destructive, are people who have lost the orientation. And this is also what you have to understand, that all those who are looking deeper into the reality has recognized that deep within every human being is good. Every human being is deep within innocent. But every human being has both the possibilities to go into a conscious, creative orientation with the sensibility for what is good, what is human, what is healthy. And there are many who are not considering, not able to see that, and who has been trapped in their conditioning and following tracks which drag them into more destructive and unloving processes. So just to put them in a box like that and punish them is also having the impact that we are also putting ourselves in a box. So it is becoming a polarizing, fighting process where we both hurt ourselves and each other. We have to learn to connect to the reality. We have to recognize that we are part of a greater nature which is working within and without us. Nature is not only in the trees and the plants and the mountains and the rivers and the oceans and the sky. Nature is in each of us. And it is very significant when it becomes your own recognition. And that is where you start recognizing the deep interconnectedness of the reality. And now you can bring something of the religious backgrounds. There are all religions, when it is rightly understood by practicing, they all point to the same thing. They all point to the oneness, to the unity, to the non-dualistic basis, whether it is the Advaitic teaching or the teachings in the Islam where it says there is only one, whatever way we call that, whether somebody calls it Allah, somebody calls it God, somebody calls it Ishvara or the Great Spirit, or somebody is very careful and not using any fixed definition, say the mystery. But these are all pointing to this reality behind and beyond the projection through the mind. That is why those who look deeply into themselves and become capable to find the right distance to their automatism becomes the basis, becomes the center for bringing about more clarity, more understanding, more light in this world. And it is very important that more and more people who have a sincere orientation to understand and take responsibility also live it. It's not enough when we are just saying yes, yes, and no, you have to confront yourself from moment to moment. And without going into blind activity or blind passivity, because both are blind. You have to look what is a creative response. So the wakefulness is not a passive, resignated carelessness. It is a wakeful presence where you are ready to respond and act with all your intelligence, with all your creativity, with all your sensibility of the heart. allowing the humanity, allowing your deeper intelligence to manifest in whatever you are doing or not doing. That is how you become a blessing to yourself and to the world. Love is a word. It indicates something, but everybody has different associations to it. But it is a very valuable orientation, and we are able to realize it when we are not just limiting ourselves to just words and concepts, but look, what is preventing me from being loving? What is preventing me from understanding the other? What is preventing me from being compassionate to each other? And this compassion and love starts with yourself. You have to accept and respect yourself. Be compassionate and loving to yourself. And with this basis, because then you will start understanding what is the meaning of it all. Then you see that to understand anybody, this is the basis for connecting. That means you are sympathetically considering the other. You are not just a priori having a judgment and going with prejudices or pride and putting the other in a box. You are starting to consider. Everywhere your wakefulness, your presence, your sensibility comes. So, if you hear me rightly, you will see that I am asking you to live the fullness, what is possible for you. Live all the capacity, all that potential what you carry without holding it back, without letting fear and misunderstandings overtake you, without allowing yourself to settle in some lethargic, careless, convenient approaches. You have to look what is the reality, what is your answer to it. It is your sincerity which makes all the difference, and it is what will make all the difference to your own flowering, and this is how you contribute also to the manifestation of a loving, peaceful, creative coexistence in this planet. We have now the possibility to see that the so-called good and the so-called bad are existing so parallel, and both are so obvious. You can see so many horrible things and so much misunderstanding and so much egocentric and childish way of reacting, whether it is in the wars which are going, the way we are dealing with the nature, with the climate, the way we are dealing with people who are in helpless situations, and we are used to going into a fighting and approach of force and power. We have to consciously reconsider our approach. Not going into hate, not going into revenge, not going into violence, not going into intimidation, not trying to punish and put people into suffering, but help people to see and understand when they make mistakes. It's not all easy, it's easier said than done, it is clear. But that should be the orientation, because there is no other way in which we can create a really honest, healthy, loving basis. And those who look deeper will see that life is much more mysterious, much more beautiful, much more wondrous. That is when you start appreciating the whole creation, the whole creative process which is behind the manifestation of this life process. When you see the people who have been going with the spacecraft, the astronauts, seeing the earth as a small ball from the outer space, seeing the fragility, seeing the beauty, they come back invariably with so much sensibility for the world, sensibility for the life on this planet. This distance you need to create through looking into yourself wakefully. That is what enables you to connect to yourself and to connect to each other, connect to the challenges which we have in a very human, very intelligent, very healthy way. In the next period, I will be going elaborately into each area of functioning in the society, for area for people who are in politics, for area for people in responsible positions in management, in government positions, people who are independently doing things, people who are doing social functioning, everybody, people who are in the religious area, because if you follow religions only as a blind ritual and don't get into the spirit behind it, then we get more in the head. Then in the name of the religion, we are missing the religiousness. That is why people, although all the religions have the same orientation in a deeper consideration and in a deeper insight, people are fighting in the name of religion, in the name of God, in the name of what they feel is the right, because they are all looking through their conditioned way of looking. And they don't understand each other. They don't try to see how to bring a healthy connection. So we need to bring understanding through a careful consideration in ourselves, so that everybody understands also their religion and their teachings, what is behind it, more deeply and not in a ritualistic and formalistic level. To go behind and beyond the words, to go into the essential understanding of what is meant with it all. And it is your sincerity and your capacity of consciousness which enables you to see it all, what will make it possible that we can realize it. And the creation and the creator, or whatever way we want to call this mystery behind the whole creation, is very supportive to us. We should never forget it, because when you come first in touch with it in your own direct way, then you see that the life is going on in spite of all the mistakes, all the misunderstandings, because this support is going on. But we have our responsibility, we have our part, and we are not only the part of the creation, but we are also, as human beings, co-creators who can also, through the misunderstanding, destroy everything what is there. So we have such a tremendous freedom given that we can not only do the right thing, we can also do the wrong thing. That is freedom. That is why responsibility is there. So I would like everybody who is listening to this to consider it very simply, very sympathetically, very courageously, and through your own consideration, get the sense behind it. Come to your own deeper understanding and perception, so that it's not just somebody talking something and you are agreeing or disagreeing and leaving it behind. No, it is for each of us who have the capacity, who have the creative potential, who is living now, that we can contribute towards understanding and love, but we can also try to run away from this responsibility because it doesn't look convenient, or it looks frightening, or it looks impossible, and then resignate into some kind of unhealthy and unloving process. Both are open to each of us. So become aware of this unique respect which life has for each of us, unique freedom, and also the unique responsibility which is there together with it. So I hope that everybody who is listening and considering it will also share it with others who can understand and benefit from it, and make it possible that this simple understanding, this simple insight which everybody can, through their own encounter with the reality, realize, becomes an authentic and true basis for a healthy, peaceful, loving coexistence in this planet Earth. and in this mystery which we are part of.
The Life Surfing Podcast will be back next week. In the meantime, make sure that you're following us right here on Spotify.